how do you think about in lieu of having billable targets for your lawyers? And maybe I'm thinking more from a culture point of view, because those that are coming in and joining your firm as a fee earner, if they're only used to having billable targets, right, how do they adjust into having and working with a different model where there isn't that numbered target on their head that you have to achieve 2,800 hours a year or whatever it might be? How do they feel, and how do you encourage them to basically link what they do to the value they're providing to the clients and the revenue and profitability for the business?
It's a really difficult question, and I can't actually claim to know the answer to this because it's something that we're trying to figure out ourselves. I mean, the billable hour is still really important. At the moment, we haven't found a replacement for it, although we are trying to step away from it as much as possible when it comes to the way that we're charging for our work. But ultimately, we're still a service-based business, and our primary unit is time. So the billable hour is still there. What we try and do is view it slightly differently. So I think there's probably three aspects to the billable hour. There's how do you charge for your time? How do you measure the performance of your lawyers? And there's how do you measure the revenue and the profitability and the internal financial metrics of the business? The billable hour is overused as a performance metric for lawyers. I think too much emphasis is put on it. And what we should be doing is taking a much more holistic view over performance. I've heard so many stories about people being passed over for promotion because they haven't met a billable hours target, but they were on secondment for half of the year. So there was just no way that they could have met it. There's just some ridiculous reason that in no way reflects on their ability to do their job. But because they haven't ticked that box, they've hit a blocker. And I think that is really wrong. I think there's also the aspect that I think recording and measuring people by billable hours encourages people to be inefficient. It encourages time dumping. It encourages people to work really slowly. It doesn't encourage collaboration between the team. I've seen it myself when I was in private practice. People hog work because they know that if they give this work away, then they're not going to be able to meet their target, even though they might not be the best person to be doing that work in the first place.